In this YouTube video, I will go through the resume that got Krasimir a business analyst internship at Amazon. And after that, I will provide you with the most important resume tips that will help you land plenty of job interviews. Now before we start, I want to thank Krasimir for letting me show you his successful resume. Now if you are interested, you can check out his YouTube channel via the link in the description down below. Now without further ado, let's check out his resume. Okay, so to provide you some context, he actually applied to Amazon twice within a very short period of time. And the second time he was able to get an interview, which ultimately led to an internship at Amazon. Now you're most likely curious about the changes he made, and I will show you in just a second. But let me first start from the very beginning. So I noticed a simple yet professional design and structure, and I highly suggest you to pick a similar template because it looks neat and doesn't distract the reader from the actual content. Now, if you want to download matching and professional looking resume and cover letter templates, then click on the link in the description for more information. Okay, so at the very top, Krasimir included his name, phone number, email and LinkedIn address, so that the recruiter can easily get in touch with him. Now, you can also include your GitHub profile and or a personal website if you have one. After that, we arrive at the education section. So in this section, you need to include the university or school you've attended, the degree, your majors and minors. Now these are properly added and highlighted with bullet points and bold titles. Now he could have used italics or a cursive font style, whatever you wanted to call it, and make his degree and diploma stand out a bit more. Because now the university and school are both highlighted in bold. Furthermore, I noticed that Krasimir doesn't include a GPA score or a UK degree classification. Now, that might be a missed opportunity because it looks like he was among the best students. Either way, I would advise you to only include a GPA score if it is above 3.5. And if you graduated with high honors, you should definitely showcase and highlight it in your resume. Okay, that brings us to the professional experience section. Now, normally I would recommend putting this part above the education section. But when it concerns an application for an internship, you probably don't have a lot of working experience yet. And when it concerns an internship, some employers actually value recent schooling over working experience. Again, Krasimir made everything easy to scan over by using bold titles, bullet points and short sentences. He also used action verbs to start most of these sentences, like increased, initiated, developed, reached. Perfectly done. I would advise you to do the same. But be careful, mix up your words, so don't start each bullet point with developed and etc. So coming back to what exact changes made his second submission successful has to, according to Krasimir, do with relevancy and consistency. Alright, so what does he mean by that? Well, Krasimir's first resume was missing this paragraph about data analytics for dunnhumby. By adding this working experience, his profile matches more with the business analyst profile they are seeking. And it also increases the overall consistency of this resume, because he also has some data analytics experience mentioned right here. Now I know that many of you don't have a lot of relevant working experience. Don't worry, in that case you should focus more on your educational background, extracurricular activities, or skills you've developed over time. Well, that brings us to the technical skills section, and I would like to emphasize the importance of including such a part if you're applying for a business analyst or any other kind of technical role. Now the reason why this part is so important is because if you don't have a high GPA or enough relevant working experience, you do have the technical skills that they are looking for and are therefore worth inviting for an interview. As Krasimir explains in his resume video, not including this section and the previous paragraph is what made his first application fail, so don't make the same mistake. Now look for those skills, tools and leadership activities that they are looking for, and they are often listed in the job description as well, and make sure to add these in here. Then we arrive at the extracurricular activities and awards section. In here Krasimir covered some of his awards and leadership activities, because he wanted to show that he knows how to lead, manage and organize activities. Now, it's a soft skill that most top tier companies like to see. Alright, that brings me to the next topic. In fact, it's the most valuable resume tip that I can give you. You need to make everything quantifiable. so that you can inform the reader exactly what you've done. Because with most of these working experience and activities, the reader has no idea what your actual impact was. I can see that this resume has some good examples. Let me see, the first one here, for example, significantly contributing to a 4th place out of 20 teams in the Hedge Hackathon competition. So by including the number of competing teams, the reader can better understand your accomplishment. Or these sentences, was admitted in the team after 3 years of debating experience. So he mentions his years of experience, which resulted him in representing the country in an international tournament, Heart of Europe, ranking 17th out of the 40 teams. Now I'm sure some of you want to hide some information, like that one event you ranked first but competed with only 2 contestants. Don't try to hide or include information that doesn't properly inform the reader. Because see it this way, your resume is not only there to impress the reader with your educational background or working experience, but also to show your ability to communicate clearly and effectively. At last, we arrive at the languages and interests section. Now most applicants include it, but don't bother more attention to detail. You can tell by the way they include commonly used interests, like watching Netflix, traveling or socializing. Now it's also noticeable in this resume. But see it this way, it's an opportunity to relate to the reader's interests and also have something interesting to talk to during the interview. For example, instead of saying experiencing new things, he could write something along the lines of explore a new country each year. See the difference? Okay, let me see. I love solving problems and applying innovative solutions and approaches. Okay, that requires some context. Together with this sentence, it could even backfire because it might give the hiring manager the impression that you rather promote yourself instead of showing genuine interest. I would exclude some interest and write a strong sentence like, as part of the UCL Technology Society and UCL Business Game, I like to solve demanding yet exciting problems that businesses face on a daily basis. Now let me recap why I think that this resume got Krasimir an internship at Amazon. Apart from his technical skills, gained working experience and extracurricular activities, he frequently used action verbs at the very start of each sentence, quantified his achievements, and made an overall resume that is clear and simple to read through. Now perhaps he could have made this interest section a bit more so-called quirky, but he deserves all the credits for this resume. Now there are just a couple more resume writing tips that I want to cover. First off, pick a suitable font size. Calibri, Arial or Times New Roman will do. And make sure that the body text is in between the 10 and 12 point font size. Headers should be larger. Around 13 to 16 point font size is most suitable. Furthermore, a professional resume has margins of 1 inch on all sides, which is similar to the normal settings in Microsoft Word. In addition, make sure that each sentence is single-spaced, with a white space in between each section. Secondly, put the best stuff above the fold. It is a term used for content that appears on the top half of the front page to make, in this case, a good first impression. Now the top third of your resume is what hiring managers see first. So if your last couple of jobs are more important and relevant than where you went to college, they should mention experience first and education second. Now that brings us to the third key point of attention. Use the reverse chronological method to your resume. And that means you need to describe your most recent job or advanced degree first and move backward in time for every subsequent position or event. Unless, for example, older coursework is more specific to the internship, then you should list that first. Fourthly, keep your resume short, concise and to the point. Don't exceed the one-page document. Now, if you can't tell the whole story on a one page, or if you want to show more of your work, you can include a link or QR code to your personal website. Now, adding a QR code to the top right corner of your document brings a coolness factor to your resume. Now, this is obviously not a requirement, but it certainly drags the reader's attention. Now, this QR code can be used to refer the reader to your personal website or a digital version of your resume, but it could also encourage a hiring manager to visit your, for example, LinkedIn or GitHub profile. Now, making this QR code is really easy. Go to qrcodegenerator.com and enter, for example, the URL of your LinkedIn profile. And there we go. Okay, so I know that Word can be really annoying when it concerns the layout of your document, But if you want to put the QR code in the right upper corner, you go to the Layout tab, Wrap Text, and select In Front of Text. And then you can move it to wherever you want. At last, make sure to properly send your resume. So what often happens is that applicants carefully spend time on the structure and format. Then send the doc file, and once the hiring manager opens it, it is all messed up. Now you can avoid this problem by sending your resume in a PDF format, or simply test it in both Google Docs and Word. In addition, make sure to save your file accordingly, so name, surname, resume. All these little but important points of attention can make the difference between getting hired or not. Okay, that's it for this YouTube video. Now, if you've made a successful resume or have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll respond as soon as possible. Also, if this video was helpful, then a like and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Now check out my other videos if you need more information about writing a resume or cover letter. For now, thanks again for watching and see you next time. Bye!